Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Bravely Default. Last time, we awakened 3 of the 4 crystals, 17, 18, and 19. It's crazy how many of those we've awakened. And we didn't have any real problems with the crystal bosses, as they've kind of just become just a little bit of an obstacle, not really a big threat. But today, we are going to be tackling the sub-scenario we can see here in Eternians Central Command. I will give you a warning. This sub-scenario requires a lot of prep. I would suggest if you are going to use any cheese strats, or if you're going to take the time to level grind and get the build that you really want, now's the time to do it, as what we're going to be going up against requires, again, a lot of prep. And I'll be trying to showcase at least a few builds in here, but with lack of a better word, I will be cheesing a lot of these encounters. I won't be doing Stillness, Haste, and World unscathed fights, but I am going to be trying to finish them as cleanly as possible and as quickly as possible. Now, just to go over my build, real quick, Ring a Bell's on Spirit Master, and he's sub-jobbing White Mage. This is mostly just to make him a pure support healer. He'll have access to Default Guard, Healing Lore, and Physical Defense up. I am tempted to give him Group Cast All, but I don't think he'll need it just yet. But we'll see. If it doesn't work out, if this supportability lineup doesn't work out, we'll give him Group Cast All instead of Physical Defense up and Default Guard. In terms of his gear, he is wearing the Hermes shoes and Brave suit. Brave suit is especially important here as it'll give him 1 extra BP at the beginning of combat, and that'll allow him to set up some Spirit Master buffs and whatnot without much problem. Anyes has not changed one bit. She's Red Mage, Time Mage, Groupcast All, Holy One. She's probably been on this job and set up for a really long time now, and honestly, I've seen no reason to remove her from it. It's a really, really good utility job build. Hermes shoes, lordly robes, gold hairpin to lower the cost of her MP. Pretty standard build. You could give Ring a Bell the gold hairpin. I actually might do this because he's going to be using white magic. So I'll go ahead and do that. It'll give him extra defense as well. Tiz and India are actually on identical builds except for their weapon. They're both on Vampire and running our Drain-based two-handed attack ability. This is mostly to give them a consistent AoE damage output, and also to allow them to play healer if need be. Because of the Vampire's abilities mostly giving physical defense down on all enemies, and also a physical attack down on certain ones, this allows me to control the battlefield fairly well, especially against physical enemies, which is going to be a pretty big point of interest. But let's go ahead and just walk over to Central Command. Hopefully this build works out okay. If it doesn't, then obviously I'll make some adjustments. But let's head inside.
Your loyalty is to be commended, mighty Asterisk Bearers. You are Eternia's pride. Among you are those who have swallowed their pride to follow my command, to abandon their posts. Those willing to fight for the Duchy, and all of Luxembourg, though it goes against long-held convictions. Those with close bonds, others with old grudges. Blood relations, hated foes, worthy adversaries, master and student, loved ones. You are all of these. But I bid you now, forget your differences this day. Keep to the battle lines I've drawn, and we shall strike a blow against the Vestal's forces. But remember this, we do not fight for wanton slaughter of our enemy. We are here to take measure of the Vestal's skill, her force of will, her determination, and resolve. I will assign a leader to each company and confer orders detailing my plan of attack. Needless death and reckless valor will not be tolerated. Follow orders and work together. I'll hear any complaints after the battle. Readying to face the Vestal is your sole concern now. That is all. May you be victorious in battle!
So it is to be a contest, then, to test our will and valor.
And so, the Grand Marshal has appointed me leader of this vanguard force. My name is Erutis Prophetur. And you, eldest of the Venus sisters, you are the Valkyrie.
I'm Hyria Venus. Proud to serve you, sir.
Even in Ansham, I hear good things of your work in leading the Blood Rose Legion.
You give me too much credit, sir. Our captain is Fiore...
De Rosa, yes? I know him all too well. And then we have Jackal. No introductions needed, hmm?
Whatever floats your boat.
So, what were the Grand Marshal's orders?
Let me guess. Moneybags here supplies the BP, and me and you burn through them quick as you like.
Correct! And as in all things, a good start is key. Drive the Vestal and your people into the ground before they know what hit them!
Yes, sir.
Oi! Watch it, Frills. You trying to kill me? What are those anyway? Some kind of blades? What are they doing dangling down by your legs?
Oh, these? They are for delivering maximum damage when I dive down on my enemies.
Well, save it for him, will ya? I'm an ally in case you've forgotten.
Apologies.
Apologies? That's the best you can do?
The brat is merciless. Not that I have much room to be casting the stones.
I'm very sorry.
That won't cut it either. I want to hear you say it like you mean it. For us thieves, speed's everything. I'm good as dead if I take one to the leg. Follow?
Please accept my apology. And to ensure no further trouble, I will be standing by overhead.
Whoa! How'd you do that? That was amazing, Frills! Hello!
I find it so funny that the game acknowledged her very unique design. I've gone on record, especially in my job video, that the Valkyrie outfit's not my favorite because of the weird spears and the fact that she budged a little bit and it poked a Jackal in the leg. That makes me very happy. Though we don't even really need to strategize. The cutscene gave you all the information you need to figure out how to deal with these guys, as Prophetor is going to be supplying BP, and the others will be burning through it. But once you're prepared, head inside.
Ah, there you are! What took you so long? Jackal and Hyria, let's teach them the lesson.
Okay, no need for introductions. We know how to deal with these guys. This interesting combination will... it's a decent first encounter for this huge contest of big contest boss rush. I don't really think it can be counted as a boss rush, as you can take breaks, but it's still a contest of wills and builds, honestly. The first thing I'm going to do is immediately cast Stillness. The reason why I'm going to do this is because not only am I mostly faster than these guys, Jackal's really the only potential problem, but these 2 turns I get with Stillness will allow me to build up my resources. Onyas is going to cast Haste. Tiz is actually going to be going first here, so we're going to use his turn to do 2 things. We're going to apply Drain to his weapon, and then we are going to cast Curse on the Jackal. That is mostly because I can guarantee Tiz is probably going to go first in general, and if we can lower Jackal's physical attack power, then even if he goes before Ring a Bell, it won't do anything. Edea is going to apply Sword Magic, Drain, and honestly, my plan here is to just completely wreck them once Stillness is over. Though, just talking about these guys in general, this is a pretty difficult fight if you let them get built up, as, again, it's important to note that Prophetor here is going to be resupplying them with BP over and over and over again, and he has infinite money. Like, you can't just wait him out of P. He is going to constantly resupply them with BP. Though, do note, right here, they are never really good. Very rarely will they attack on the same turn with their most powerful attacks outside of the first turn. They're going to be kind of they're going to be a little, what's the right word for it? They're going to be a little disjointed. They're never going to attack on the same turn unless Profiteer wills it, I guess. So Jackal right now is the biggest threat. Einherja is not. So use that to your advantage, as Einherja won't have anything to defend herself. Though, obviously, if you're going with single target attacks, go for Profiteer first, as he is without a doubt the most important enemy to take down. As once you've taken them down, Einherja and Jackal are sort of forced into a lose-lose scenario where they cannot use all of their powerful abilities without putting themselves into the negative. Before I do anything crazy here, I am going to go ahead and just give Tiz and Edea a little bit of BP as a bit of a wiggle room area here. We're going to see that Einherja is going to be going on the offense next turn, as Jackal is now in the negative. For Ring a Bell, we're going to go ahead and just have him default for this turn. Agnes is going to cast Protect as a kind of a safe, kind of a nice safety wall, just in case we do not kill them here. And honestly, all I'm going to do is just spam Firestorm with both of my vampires here. That is the whole plan. If this does not take them down, which it probably will, it's 8 Firestorms, then I stillness and just wait for another opportunity. That's pretty much the whole strategy here. So we're going to speed up. About 8k on average for each of them. It should be enough to take them down, hopefully. There's Protect here, Firestorm. 7.5-ish. Let's see if we can take them down. We're going to slow down here. One more Firestorm. No, we did not take them down.
These rats are more persistent than I had expected.
I'm still in this one, see? I'm fine.
That's okay. We take some damage here, and that's okay. Okay, so they will both be attacking this turn, but we're basically just going to immediately apply Stillness, and then reapply Haste, and then they won't hurt us again. And then we pretty much just rinse and repeat. They can't hurt us this turn, they can't hurt us the next turn, and by that time, we are already ready to go for the next action. We're going to reapply Slow on the enemy. That way. Oh, well, damn it. That's okay, though. The debuffs were still there, so they didn't really count. Because we're faster, we can just immediately go back and spam Firestorm. I will, since Tiz will be going first, I am going to have him also White Wind at the very end here, just in case. But we will have 7 Firestorms going at these guys. This should be enough.
I can still fly. For Lord Marshal and Duchy.
Well, your wings are about to be clipped, I'm sorry. Let's see if this takes them down. Nope, took down 2 of them. Einherja is the only one standing. White Wind is going to heal us up. Edea, finish her off.
You've grown strong, Edea. I almost forgot it was you.
And there we go! The trio is down. No EXP, unfortunately, but hey, we get 3 Turbo Ethers for our troubles. No extra cutscene. So, let's go ahead and just head up to the next area.
How many years have passed since we last fought together?
It was 15 years ago we met. I've competed against you for glory on the field ever since. In a sense, we have been fighting together the entire time.
You have a point there.
And you, Holly, wasn't it? You were there as well, weren't you?
Yes, Swordmaster. We were in different units, but I joined you that day 15 years ago. I was only a medic in training, but I served as best as I was able.
So, what is the Grand Marshal's plan?
Precisely what it looks like. We are to be an iron wall to neutralize the enemy's attacks.
And the moment they relent, the wall parts to allow our blades through, eh?
Indeed. We'll make a formidable line, though timing will be key. Brave was slow to act. but it seems a fire's finally been kindled within him.
That's an interesting combination. Before that, though, we're gonna go ahead and just top our party off. I don't think I actually need to heal anyone, really. So, nope. We're more low on MP than anything, but I think I should be okay. Tiz is really the only one that might have an issue. Excuse me there, an issue. Let's go ahead and just get rid of that problem with Turbo Ethers. I don't think I really need to change my build, though I would suggest after every single one of these fights, go back and save if you don't have autosave on. Go back and heal if you need to as well. But I don't need any of that, and we're going to be moving towards this really interesting quartet. I really like these four together.
You've been awfully quiet this whole time. Is something bothering you?
Try to put your thoughts into words on occasion, Kikyo.
That I do not speak in no way means I cannot or wish not to speak, but rather explaining my silence, why out of disguise to those who do not know the reason, places a burden upon the captive, which pains me. Hence I have held my tongue, but I apologize if I have given any offense.
Oh boy, get a load of that. I wasn't offended, dear, and I'd be eager to hear that reason if you're inclined to share.
Back when I began my ninja training, I spoke very slowly, and my teachers would always make fun of me. I came to loathe my own language speech, and soon stopped speaking altogether, though I found that I could speak at a rapid clip if I was in disguise.
Well, that would explain it. You poor dear. Swordmaster, how could you be so cruel? The Black Blades did nothing to ease this poor girl's troubled soul?
That is not so. The captain and all the Black Blades accepted me as one of their own. They did not scorn me or grow frustrated at my speech. Save one enormously fat, useless slug.
No need to keep speaking if you don't want to, Kikyo. Isn't that right, Swordmaster?
Well, I, for one, would like to hear a little more. Now, Kikyo, take a deep breath and tell us all about the riffraff on their way here. Don't worry. No one will laugh, I promise.
The enemy attacks! The Vessel of Wind's party of four! All formidable opponents!
There, you see? That was lovely. Well, boss, Kikyo just sounded out the warning.
Indeed. Thank you for that, Holly.
To arms, one and all! Time to meet the Vestal and her followers in battle!
It'll be my pleasure.
The whole Kikyo disguise gimmick is honestly one of my favorite character quirks in the game, even if Kikyo herself is not really all that interesting in my opinion. So, these four together, as they said in the cutscene, are basically an impenetrable physical wall. Now, I'm going to reiterate, physical wall. If you're a magic-based composition, this fight's going to go, well, pretty easy for you, outside of Kamizumi's magical counters. But Kikyo, Holly, and Heinkel aren't really going to be that big of a deal for you. But for my build, it might be a bit of a problem. First things first, though, I'm going to immediately stillness as we can build up our strategy. Honestly, this fight is kind of a gamble because Kamiyuzumi exists in it. If you want to, you can basically just throw one of your teammates at Kamiyuzumi to immediately activate his counter, where he will begin braving constantly. But I'm gonna try to not do that, and just hope that I get really, really, really lucky with my, with Kamizumi's AI. The idea here is I'm gonna go ahead and curse Kikyo, as her Shipu Jinrai is going to be pretty dangerous. If you want to, running a build that has a knight with Karai is a pretty good idea, as the physical attack from all of these opponents really will be kind of null and void. But since I have Tiz here is really fast, faster than Kikyo, I can just curse her and it won't do much. And also I have Stillness right here. Reflect! That is honestly not that big of a deal if you have Dispel on your hands. As, you know, I was just talking about how this is a really good fight for magic builds. Just have Dispel active. It's not that bad. Holly here, her biggest threat is just applying healing to the party. But in terms of like my actual strategy here, nothing's really going to change. All I'm gonna do is set up Protect on my party because I will have a window of time where I have to deal damage to these guys and they're gonna have the ability to deal damage to me. So I want to have access to Protect because otherwise things might get a bit hairy. Kamizumi is not using his abilities. We have Reflect on ourselves, which means we pretty much have to rely on White Wind for healing right now, but that's okay. What I am going to do, though, is default with Ring a Bell. And what I will do... I do not want to dispel my team, because otherwise I put myself in a bit of a problem. I lose the Drain, which is kind of the whole point of this. So we're going to go ahead and just Firestorm and hope for the best. Where are you? Firestorm! We're just gonna spam this. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but it should be fine. If it didn't kill the first batch with Profiteur, Einherja, and Jackal, I doubt it'll kill any of the people here, except for maybe Holly, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna Firestorm. Okay, let's look at the damage here, now that we have the debuff. Okay, it's pretty much max damage for most of them. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so about 9k for Tiz. It's pretty even for Idia as well. Might be able to get someone down here. Maybe Holly?
You people would get all hot and bothered over this.
I will fight to the end for those who accepted me.
Get it hot and bothered because Firestorm? Oh dear.
You cheeky little... No greenhorn is taking me down!
I don't know, buddy. There's Kiaraga. It's reflecting is just on her, though. So that's not that big of a deal. They're going for a Dia, which is okay. We can just immediately Stillness. Stillness does go through Reflect, so it's not that big of a problem. I am actually going to go ahead and Brave once here. I'm going to dispel the effects on our party. It'll remove the Reflect, and it will remove amps and whatnot, but it will allow me to heal, which is that something I really want to do, though? No, yeah, I do want to do it because I want to reapply Haste. Haste is pretty important. There's nothing ventured, so he's finally doing his speed stuff. We can cast Stillness here. If it was too Super Genrized, that might have been a problem, but now we don't have to worry about that. Thank you, Holly, for healing us. Thank you. Oh, man, she was not expecting that. I can guarantee that. Now that we have Haste applied, let's go ahead and just cast Protect on the party. That way we have that ability back up. We're going to speed things up here. And Kamizumi's going into the negative for some reason. We didn't trigger his ability, but maybe they're getting desperate. We're going to have Ring a Bell default, we're going to have Anya's default, and we're just going to have our gang reapply Drain. I'll have Tiz reapply Drain, and then I'll have him do 2 Firestorms and a White Wind. That should be enough to cover any real problem we run into. And then Idia can just follow up with 4 Firestorms in case things go terribly wrong. But honestly, Tiz might be able to finish this off. Let's see what happens.
What joy. Your growth far outstrips what I had imagined. Kikyo, retreat! I'll tolerate no needless death.
Just lovely. Looks like I slipped up.
Fall back, Holly! I'm not listening to Barris blubber! The iron wall is broken.
Go now, Idia, and never look back.
And with that, the Iron Wall is defeated. This is a pretty interesting encounter, and honestly, you can troll this fight with a magic build pretty hard, especially as you saw with Holly's AI thinking that I still had Reflect applied and she just healed us, and yeah, Dispel kind of breaks this encounter. Or you can just do what I did and spam vampire abilities. That works too. But that's another fight down. I think real quick, I'm going to go heal up, and then I think we should go ahead and do one more. Yeah, one more sounds fine. Alright, I've healed up, and I'm ready to go for this next fight. I have not changed my build at all, so don't need to worry about that.
No, Barbarossa. You've more experience as first mate of the Black Blades. You should lead us.
Nonsense, Alternus Dim! What better leader than a member of the Council of Six, says I? Besides, the matter's settled. The Grand Marshal named you the man for the job. Going against that would be betraying our vows. Plus, he'd pound us. Can't say as I understood any of that, but why not have Alternus lead us?
I totally, completely, supremely agree. So, what's the Grand Marshal have planned for us?
It's actually quite simple. He wants us to...
beat them to a pulp. Chop them into mincemeat.
Sing their eardrums out!
Yes, well, I suppose that about sums it up.
Oh dear, Alternus is surrounded by 3 agents of pure chaos. I'm sure this won't go down well. Let's see how they fare against our strategy.
The Vestalender people, they're here.
Now, my hearties, let's give them a serious thumping.
It's showtime!
Nothing too complex, Alternus just leads them into battle. So this quartet is very similar to the Black Blades encounter that we fought a few episodes ago. Praline is a huge threat, as she's going to be the BP battery of this team, allowing pretty much Barris, Alternus, and Barbarossa to just constantly throw their hardest-hitting attacks at us at once. So guess what? We're going to be applying stillness. That's going to be our first plan right now. We're going to also immediately haste. The plan here is to pretty much play it out as we did with the Black Blades encounter. AoE them all down, Praline will probably go down first, and then just worry about what happens afterwards. Honestly, this shouldn't be that big of a deal, hopefully. We don't have to worry about this spell or anything like that this time around. So, we just apply stillness, we build ourselves up, and hopefully it all goes to plan. Darkbane, nothing. I like that Alternus is using his Bane abilities because it just lowers his HP even further. Love power right there, that could be a problem, but it shouldn't be. Also, Barbarossa, again, his debuffs do go through stillness, so keep an eye out for that. What I am going to do though is I am going to slow these guys. Actually, is that really a thing that I need to do? No, not really. Let's have Anya's default, actually. And then Tiz is going to... Do I really need to curse right now? Yeah, I'll go ahead and... Nah, I'll have him default. Actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and have him curse Barbarossa, as Amp Strike could be a problem if he gets a turn without stillness, which it's probably going to happen. So we will need to play fairly careful here. I'm going to have Idiot default to give her extra BP. No damage for this turn. Shells split, physical defense down. Strong Strike's gonna dodge. Okay, my hero, they have extra BP. This is where things might get a little hairy. Real quick, what's Ring a Bell's speed? 145, 153, 118. Only Tiz would get an action before he stillnesses. That might not be a bad idea. This is tough. I think what I'm going to do is... I think I'm going to have Ring-a-Bell just default right now, as he does have his defense lowered, and have Agnes do two casts of Protect, as those will get through before everyone else does. And then have Tiz and Idia just go with the flow and attack normally as they would. Fine. Firestorm. There we go. Throw this at them. This will do some pretty good damage. And hopefully this at least puts down Praline. If it doesn't, that's okay, but we want her down as soon as possible. Firestorm 8k without the buff. Okay, max damage on Praline. That's who I really want to take as much damage as humanly possible. Come on, take down Praline. Take down Praline. Come on. Maybe?
I'll not fail the Grand Marshal. I won't.
Watch out! I still have songs to sing, dances to dance.
Together we fight! Rally to me!
Nope, we don't make it at all. Blackbane, that's not good. Oh, no, don't hit Adia. My hero, that's not good. Please hit someone else. No, Adia. I guess I could have re-raised. Yeah, hindsight's 20/20 though, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and cast Stillness. Yep. And then we'll have Agnes just go ahead and cast Raise, as we're going to just very quickly try to fix all of this. Unfortunately, they don't get the BP up, so we'll have to figure out something else. I might just be able to spam Stillness if things go well. We're gonna go ahead and just speed up now because they're gonna be doing multiple actions because of the My Hero buff. So we're gonna have to deal with that. Ring of Bell goes, Stillness goes away, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cast Haste. And then we're going to do Re-Raise on the party. And then Ring of Bell will be able to cast Stillness again, and then we can just kind of slowly rebuild our thing. As you can see, they're constantly at 1 BP. Like, again, except for Alternates, he defaulted. Praline is such a huge threat. Thankfully, we have Stillness here, and they have nothing that can fully get through it, so they're kind of just stuck. And we're free to just basically recover for free. That was a little redundant, yeah. And yeah, I mean, this is not really that big of a deal. They lose their debuff, but we can just quickly reapply those. Let's have Agnes default, and then we're gonna have them reapply Drain, do Firestorm, Firestorm, and then they will be fully healed by that point. So then we can just have actually, we'll have Adia perform the White Wind, which I will be surprised if we even make it to the White Wind, but we'll do it anyways. Firestorm, Firestorm, and then a White Wind from her, and that will put us back to a fairly healthy state. All right, we'll apply Drain and see where we go from there.
Do you see these pecs? They're on fire!
But, India, I still haven't...
I was almost to my best part.
That's curtain, class. You sing another day. A fine mess I made of that. Oh, yeah. Nothing better than fighting to your last breath.
Okay, we kind of had to salvage that a little bit, but it all worked out in the end. That fight, I definitely suggest you cheese in any way you can. Hasten World Stillness. Praline is just such a big threat that it makes that fight really unbearable. So I'm glad I did this. Turbo Ether, Star Corselet, and an Elixir. Woo! But that's the third group down. Whew. Alright, I think that's enough for today. That's a good stopping point. We've done quite a bit. But we still have a lot of Eternian officers to go through. So next time on Bravely Defaults, we will be continuing to scale Central Command as we continue to fight these Eternian officers in this contest to show our strength. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.